Hi, I'm Matthew Gardner, and welcome to this week's episode of The Signature Show. To get things started this week, we have a special at-home performance from Danny Gardner, the star of our 2018 production of Crazy for You. Featuring a wealth of Gershwin tunes and a riotous book by Ken Ludwig, this Tony Award-winning musical comedy was a favorite of Signature's audiences. So here to perform I Can't Be Bothered Now is Danny Gardner.
Bad news, go away, call round someday in March or May. I can't be bothered now. My bonds and shares may fall downstairs. Who cares? Who cares? I'm dancing and I can't be bothered now. I'm up among the stars, unearthly things I frown. I'm throwing off the bars that held me down. I'll pay the piper when times are riper. Just now I shan't, because you see I'm dancing and I can't be bothered. Music is the magic that makes everything sunshiny. Dancing makes my troubles all seem tiny. When I'm dancing, I don't care if this old world stops turning, or if my bank is burning, or even if Romania wants to fight Albania. I'm not upset, and I refuse to fret. See, I'm dancing, because you see I'm dancing, because you see I'm dancing.
'20th century, The Little Dog Laughed, A Fox on the Fairway, Sex with Strangers, masterpieces of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity, and the direction of Escaped Alone.
You left off a little night music.
I
Do it.
did. Oh. I feel like I have this memory of us just laughing through rehearsals. Just every day was some new thing that we just were rolling over. There was one scene, I'm just going to say this little teeny thing. There was one scene where, it takes place, we're on a train, right? So it's a fabulous set. I just had gotten on the train and I'm standing in the doorway and I did this thing where I would sort of lean back and go, well, here I am, Lily Garland. But I wanted to shout it so all the passengers knew that a movie star was on board. And so I would go, Lily Garland! And I would shout it. And it never got a laugh. It never got a laugh ever. And Rick Hammerly and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And it never got a laugh. And it just killed me. So now every time I think of Lily Garland, all I can think of is me saying that and then just crickets. Sex with Strangers was an interesting one to do in a very intimate space. You hear people breathing and you hear people reacting and responding emotionally. When you're in a bigger space, you can hear them laugh, which is awesome. And you can hear other sort of large, sounds. But a lot of times you can't hear those little things. And so it's hard in the really big spaces to say, wait a minute, am I connecting? Is everyone, I can't see out there in the dark, is everyone listening? And in those little spaces, you can tell, and that's pretty fun and pretty cool. I think my experience working as an actor in the Ark absolutely helped me as a director in the Ark. And I knew, and it was absolutely, I think the perfect play for that space. I mean, Carol Churchill, Jesus, she's a world unto herself. She's so brilliant. And she is, she draws you in with this lightness and then just turns the tables on you. It was so much fun working, first of all, with 4 friends of mine, but also with 4 women that I've watched them on stages for years. Yeah, that was a really great experience. Eric Schaeffer approaches me about doing Desiree in A Little Night Music, and my first thought is, are you talking to me? You're not talking to me. I am not a singer. He knows that I'm not a singer. I mean, you guys, Signature, there's some people there with some pipes. And he said, this is a role for an actor who can sing a little bit. And I think you can do it. Okay, I'll take a big breath and give it a shot. So it was there was a learning curve, just suffice it to say. But I'm also surrounded by these freaking amazing people, Tracy Oliveira and Bobby Smith and Will Gartshore, not to mention, Eric and Karma and John Kalfleisch, watching my incredibly talented friends and learning from them.
Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clouds? Quick, send in the clouds. Don't bother.
You walk in the doors of Signature and I feel like I'm home. And in some cases, I don't feel like I even have the right to say that when I look at, what Bobby's done and what Nova's done and what Tracy's done. And I've just always felt welcomed there. My child has spent many years coming to see me do shows there, not Sex with Strangers, P.S. Artists talk about an artistic home. And you're incredibly lucky if you have more than one, and Signature is definitely one of mine. It's not just a physical place. It's a place of making something really special. Sorry.
So I want to welcome to our show now, Michael John LaChiusa. Hi, Michael John.
Hi there, Matt. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So the first musical Signature did of yours was First Lady's Suite, and that was in the garage of Signature. Later on, we commissioned 2 new musicals, Highest Yellow and Giant. And I was lucky enough to have my Signature directing debut directing one of your musicals, See What I Want to See.
Beautiful production.
Thank you. Giant had its world premiere at Signature in 2009. What was the impetus for turning this Edna Ferber novel into a musical?
Well, my beloved colleague Eric Schaeffer had arranged for a commission through the Shen Family Foundation that allowed, I think, 3 composers, including myself, the opportunity to create a musical of anything we wanted, of any size, of any nature, and which is a very rare thing in terms of commissions. At the same time, a friend of mine, Julie Gilbert, who is the great niece of Edna Ferber, a great American novelist who wrote books such as Showboat, which have been turned into musicals, and Giant. And she had approached me, so would you ever think about turning Giant into a musical? And I read the book, which is like 9,000 pages, and it's 25 years of Texas history, oil and cattle and Mexican-American relationships. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. But something sparked with me, and I had a collaborator friend of mine, Sybil Pearson, to join me to see if we could do this. And I went to Eric and I said, for this commission, I'm thinking of something really large scale, possibly 3 nights of theater, hours upon hours of music about cattle and oil and you name it. And so I said, what do you think? And my beloved Eric goes, sure. It was an amazing adventure and an extraordinarily beautiful production. And it's a blessing in my life that we had that opportunity at Signature. And that's sort of the background of how, Giant came to be.
Do you find that the piece resonates for you differently now in this America than it did in Obama's America in 2009?
Not in the least. I find that it was prescient, truthful, honest, and I think when an author like Edna Ferber, who looked at America and looked at the truths that exist in this country, when she wrote Slave Boat, she wrote about Black and white experiences and the differences about that, and the troubled nature of that is our original sin, which is slavery. I think when she wrote Giant too, she looked very, very closely at the truths about whose land is this. When she was exploring what is Texas, whose land was this? So it's always been, and always, unfortunately, I think will always have some resonance in our country until we can come to some solution, some way of universal thinking about race, ethnicity, and whose land is it?
So I asked Tracy Lynn Oliveira to sing one of your songs. It's He Wanted a Girl.
A beautiful singer.
I wondered if you could just give us a little setup for the song and the character.
Yeah, this is a secondary character sings this song on the show. Vashti Haig is her name. And she was in love with Bick, who is the owner of this vast ranch called Riata. She's the daughter of a neighboring ranch owner. And it was always planned that these two people were supposed to get together. Unfortunately for her, Bick went to Virginia and fell in love with a woman from Virginia named Leslie and brings her home to Texas as his wife. And when Vashti is confronted with this, her heart is broken, and yet she decides this is what the man she loved wants and resigns herself to that.
Well, here is Tracy Lynn Oliveira singing He Wanted a Girl by Michael John LaCusta.
He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads. He wanted a girl who cries porcelain tears. He wanted a girl who put locks on the doors to protect all those gemstones she's got in her ears. But I am a girl who likes dusty roads, 'cause I am a girl who enjoys the outside. Yes, I was that girl who would keep up with him and would follow him anywhere he chose to ride. And we would ride barreling through the gullies, pitching tension and jerky, showing off our scratches and favorite scars, teaching me to hold my bourbon, coaxing me to play my fiddle, making up songs, singing them to the stars. We laugh ourselves to sleep. That's something I can keep. That's something I can keep in my fancy new clothes. Hearts don't wear jewels or put locks on the doors. Hearts are just drums that go beating with wanting, and he was the one that my heart wanted for. He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads. He found him a girl who hates dusty roads. Their hearts was meant to fit. So I'll be the fiddle playing, bourbon drinking girl who learned to live with it.
As a new segment on The Signature Show, I wanted to sit down and talk to some of our favorite collaborators. Theater at its core is a collaborative art form. It doesn't come from the mind of one person, rather it comes from the work of several artists working together towards a common goal. The first duo I want to highlight are an amazing director and choreographer pair. They've worked together many times before, most recently on Spunk at Signature Theater. Please welcome to the show, Lady Dane Figueroa Aditi and Timothy Douglas.
This is what I want to begin with. How were the two of you introduced?
Do you want to go first?
Well, I was gonna say Don Chow Who Kissed the Sea, right?
That was the project, but it was very much a shotgun wedding because I really didn't know the choreographic talent in town, and I was directing that play. That the written into the script was a huge movement element. I'm not actually recalling the actual first meeting, but I am recalling energetically how instantly it was such a no-brainer.
I think that once our very first conversation happened, and we kind of talked about what theater is to us. And the power of theater and the gift of theater and the responsibility of theater, it was like, oh, you know what? You ain't even gotta say no more. I get it. Because I think that for me, that kind of grounds every project that we work on, that kind of grounds how the work is born.
Consistently, the work that Dane and I work on together are Afrocentric works. And the gift that Dane gives me is immediately translating that into the movement, coming completely from the earth, the spirit, and such deep-rooted history in African culture. Like a log that's added to a fire that's already burning, it eventually then takes on the heat and the flame, and then burns as brightly as the log that was already burning. And in my creative life, and my personal life as well, Dane radiates the ancestry of African culture. She's always present with it, and that I in Dane's presence, I find that I yearn for that there is actually a deficit in me on a daily basis of existing in that energy. And so just by, being near Dane's fire, it pulls out innate creativity that it can actually start to form and forge.
There's something about, good collaboration that feels like a river flowing, and that the spirit is allowed to do what it wants to do, and the work then is allowed to expand and become something new.
For me, a successful collaboration, I know it when it's clear that the individual egos are not leading in the discussions. And again, that's, it's just something you find yourself in, and it's sort of an afterthought when there's a breath or a pause in the midst of a session, and kind of going, wow, this is really, this is having a nice flow. It feels good. I'm not tense. That's how I know I'm in a divine collaboration.
So Dane, you get the phone call, and it's either from Timothy or it's from the theater, and they say, we got a project, Timothy Douglas is the director. Your response is?
Yes, absolutely. It's yes. I mean, as a choreographer, and as someone who's a choreographer who also worked with the directors and who's also an actor, right? I actually learned a lot from watching Timothy direct. It's like I'm learning so many skills that I then can actually apply to the other parts of my artistic life, which have been, so valuable for me.
Timothy, you are asked to direct a project in DC and you need a choreographer. What is the thing that makes you keep going back to Lady Jane?
Selfishness. I know Dane is always going to bring a vision and integrity of her own. I never have to worry that it's not going to be a complement to mine. I can always guarantee I'm going to actually learn. But to have this, or at least the feeling I have, the rapport that we have, that's one thing we don't have to deal with in bringing the company together. And we model that as well. So knowing, so far, and I'm touching some wood here, that has always been the case working with Dane, and I'm just selfish. I just want to keep going with that.
Good evening. I'm Howard Menaker.
And I'm Patrick Gossett.
We've been Signature subscribers, audience members, donors, and rabid Sondheim fans ever since the days of the garage.
Over the years, the quality of Signature's work has gotten better and better with each season. We love both the full theatrical productions and the cabarets, where our favorite artists get to show their musical versatility and their true personalities in an intimate, relaxed atmosphere. We can't wait to see our friends and the Signature family someday soon in the theater.
But in the meantime, here's a special treat. In 2019, Signature presented a cabaret featuring the work of the legendary Judy Garland. Here to recreate the cabaret's closing number, Happy Days Are Here Again and Get Happy, are the amazing Awa Salseca and the wonderful Katie Mariko Murray.
Forget your trouble. Happy days. Come on, get happy. Are here again. You better chase all your cares away. Are clear again. Shout hallelujah. So let's sing a song. Come on, get happy. Cheer again. Get ready. Happy days are here again. The sun is shining all together. Come on, get happy. Shout it now. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Doubt it now. Shout hallelujah. So let's tell the world and just get happy about it now. We're going happy to days are here again. We're heading across a river. Soon your cares will all be gone. There'll be no more from now on. From now on, forget your troubles and just get happy. You'd better chase all your blues away. Shout hallelujah. So let's sing a song and just get happy. Cheer again. Happy times. Happy times. Happy nights. Happy nights. Happy days are here
Thank you, Katie and Awa, and thank you to all of our guests this week on The Signature Show, and thanks to you for watching and for continuing to support Signature. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode. In the meantime, be sure to check out Signature's website and social media pages for all the things that we have coming up. Until next time, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon.